Yeah, they don't make movies like this anymore. Hey everyone, welcome to the review. It is my review for the movie The Irishman. Yes, The Irishman stars Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Anna Paquin, Bobby Cannavale, Ray Romano, huge fucking cast, Harvey Keitel. This movie is directed by the master filmmaker himself, the guy who hates Marvel movies, Martin Scorsese. And yeah, I was looking forward to this one. This is a new Netflix movie. And it's a 3.5-hour crime film. All you people who are fans of Godfather and Goodfellas and Casino, then this movie is for you. This movie is about Robert De Niro's character Frank, and basically he's reminiscing about the old times when he used to, work for a crime boss, this crime family and stuff, and how he was involved with the Jimmy Hoffa disappearance of 1975. And basically just all the stuff he went through, even his time in World War II and everything. Basically his life in the crime family, in the war, and him with Jimmy Hoffa and everything. And yeah, it's just like about Frank's life and all the stuff he had to do while he was working for the mob and shit like that. That's what The Irishman is about. And again, like if you love films like The Godfather, Casino, Goodfellas, then this is right up your alley. A lot of people I could see, especially now in this time period, and just a lot of people like to watch mindless action films and stuff like that. A lot of people don't want to sit down and watch a 3.5-hour crime movie with a lot of dialogue, and they'd find it very boring and stuff. And I get it, but for me, I grew up in this shit. I love Godfather. I think The Godfather is one of the greatest films in American cinema, and watching a movie like this just brought me back to that time period. Even though I didn't even grow up in that time period, just it felt like I was in the classic age of cinema and stuff, and watching these amazing, timeless mob films. We don't get a lot of mob films, but when we do, some of them are really bad, but if we get ones like this, they can be amazing, because The Irishman is not only a brilliant, masterful film, this is easily one of the best films of the year. This is right up there with my favorite film of the year, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Thank God Tarantino and Scorsese did the best films this year, because, yeah, despite what you guys think about Scorsese and his comments on Marvel, you have to admit he can direct a hell of a fucking film, and this is a hell of a fucking film. This movie is excellent, sensational from start to finish. The dialogue is absolutely stunning. The characters are interesting. This movie is very subtle. It's very funny. It's very intriguing. You want to know what's going to happen to each one of these characters and how the story's going to end. It just keeps you gripped, and it keeps you invested from start to finish. Frozen 2 was only an hour and 40-minute film, and I could barely keep my investment. This movie is 3.5 hours. It's got a lot of talking and a lot of slow scenes, but I was always invested. I always wanted to know what was happening, and just I was glued to the screen. I watched this almost all night last night. I barely got any sleep because I wanted to watch The Irishman. I was only going to watch like an hour of it, but then I just got so hooked into the story, into these characters, that I stayed up till almost like 7:30 in the morning, and I only got a couple hours sleep. But it was worth it, because The Irishman is amazing. Robert De Niro easily gives his best performance of the entire decade. De Niro hasn't played in a lot of great roles, especially lately, but he's in a few, like Silver Linings Playbook and stuff. I know he's a talented actor. This brought me back to classic De Niro. This is like right up there with like Goodfellas and Casino level De Niro. This is an amazing performance. The way they do the CGI and the de-aging is actually very impressive as well. Like, I barely noticed it was CGI, and De Niro is absolutely spectacular. I love to see some Oscar love for De Niro. He was amazing. So is Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci hasn't played in a movie in quite some time, so I thought he'd be very rusty, but he was fantastic. He's not quite like his level of just insanity like he is in Goodfellas. Like, that's a hell of a performance, and he plays a different kind of mob boss in this movie, a very quiet, subdued mob boss and stuff. He has equal intimidation, but it's a different kind of character he's playing than Goodfellas. And usually, like in Goodfellas and Casino, Raging Bull, he plays like these like insane characters. This one, he's a lot more quiet and subdued, and he does a very good job. And I really like Joe Pesci's performance. I loved Al Pacino too as Jimmy Hoffa. I love to see a supporting actor nomination for Al Pacino. He just has a lot of Al Pacino freakouts in this movie, and it's awesome. And he's easily the funniest character in the movie. I fucking love him as Jimmy Hoffa. And just the whole supporting cast is fantastic. Jesse Plemons is great. Anna Paquin's great. Bobby Cannavale. Ray Romano. As weird as it is, Ray Romano was absolutely fantastic in this movie. Like, seeing Ray Romano in a mob movie like this is weird, but it's great. He was so good. And Scorsese's direction is amazing. And his attention to detail with the camera and just with the subtle acting, these great storytelling. The way he can direct and execute a film is absolutely mind-blowing. He's just a truly remarkable filmmaker, Scorsese, and I think he's one of the greatest filmmakers I've seen. And just the way he tackles a story like this just was such subtlety and gravitas and just, I don't know, just such intriguement. I loved everything about it, and I thought Scorsese's direction was absolutely spectacular. The cinematography was amazing. Just, there's so many iconic scenes. I could see a lot of people quoting a lot of scenes from this movie. This is just an excellent film. I had no problems with The Irishman. I thought the performances by the whole cast was almost perfection. I loved the music. The soundtrack was great. The cinematography, the direction, the editing, everything about this movie was sharp. And it was just an epic story that I was invested in from start to finish in this whole 3.5-hour film, and just even the ending leaves you with this, like, interesting, bitter feeling that's just, it's absolutely perfect. It's a perfect way to end this story. And just, everything about The Irishman was brilliant. It's easily one of the best films of the year. And it easily gets a scale on a 1 to 10. It gets a 10 out of 10. This is a fucking amazing movie, and definitely check it out. So that was my review for the movie The Irishman. So in the comments section, please tell me, what is your favorite Scorsese movie? Your all-time favorite Martin Scorsese movie. Mine... I love Hugo, I love Raging Bull, and I love this movie, but Goodfellas will always be my favorite. That's just Scorsese to me. But yeah, what is your favorite? Comment below, let me know, and as always, for this video, please subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.